Deadly Russian missile strikes hit Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital, Monday. Part of what Russian President Vladimir Putin boasted was a massive strike against Ukraine in response to the destructive weekend attack on a bridge linking Crimea to the Russian mainland. The Ukrainian military said Russia launched a barrage of 75 missiles, hitting at least 10 different areas of the country. Most of the attacks on Kyiv hit the center of the city, killing at least 5 people and wounding 12 others in populated areas, including parks and tourist sites. Ukraine said at least 5 more people were killed elsewhere in the country. Reporter Anna Chernikova, reporting from Kyiv for VOA, described her own experience during the attacks, which she said began around 8 a.m. Kyiv time.
My personal experience, basically my apartment building was shaking, the windows were shaking, explosions were not far from our apartment building, and of course we immediately went to the shelter. We have underground parking, and this is where people were hiding. Also, a lot of people in Kyiv were hiding at the metro stations. It was also one of the main bomb shelter for the civilians.
Russian President Vladimir Putin told a meeting of his Security Council Monday the strikes were targeted Ukraine's energy, military, and communications infrastructure, and that they were in response to an attack Saturday on a bridge linking Russia to Crimea, the Ukrainian peninsula Moscow illegally seized in 2014. Ukrainian officials were exultant after the bridge blast, but Kyiv had not formally claimed responsibility. Aside from Kyiv, explosions were reported in the western city of Lviv, the central city of Dnipro, and the eastern city of Kharkiv. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences announced Monday 3 U.S.-based economists won the 2022 Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences for research on banks and financial crises. The winners are former head of the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, Ben Bernanke, now with the Brookings Institution in Washington, D.C., University of Chicago economist Douglas Diamond, and Washington University in St. Louis economist Philip Dybvig. The winners share a prize of about $900,000. Announcing the winners in Stockholm, the Academy said this year's laureates have significantly improved our understanding of the role of banks in the economy, particularly during the financial crisis. They said the research explained why avoiding bank collapses is vital. The chair of the Committee for the Prize in Economic Sciences, Tori Ellingson, said that their insights have improved our ability to avoid both serious crises and expensive bailouts in banking systems. Unlike other Nobel Prizes, the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences was not included in Alfred Nobel's original will. It was established by the Swedish Central Bank in 1968 in Nobel's memory. In an opening speech to the UNHCR's Executive Committee, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, appealed to member states to provide protection to people fleeing conflict and persecution, regardless of ethnicity and nationality. Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva.
The UN Refugee Agency, or UNHCR, reports the number of people forcibly displaced by armed conflict, violence, discrimination, persecution, and climate shocks has hit an all-time high of 100 million. High Commissioner Filippo Grandi says the climate emergency increasingly drives displacement, making life harder for those already uprooted. He says the link between climate change and displacement is clear and growing.
We see it in the Horn of Africa, for example, where people are forced to flee by a combination of conflict and drought. More than 1 million have been displaced in Somalia alone since January 2021.
Most African refugees flee for safety to neighboring countries. However, many make the perilous journey to Europe in search of asylum and a better life. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
Human rights groups in Malaysia say some 700 nationals may now be trapped in online scam centers across Laos under threat of beatings and electrical shock if they fail to meet work targets or try to leave their guarded compounds. The case highlights what the United Nations and others describe as rising tide of young men and women being lured and trapped into brutal online scam operations across the Mekong region of Southeast Asia. Repeating the hour's top news story, deadly Russian missile strikes hit Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital, on Monday, part of a massive strike against Ukraine.
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope the videos are useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel using the button below.